So, if you look at the title, you can understand what is the meaning of that topic. What are the precautions that we should take while engaging in any work or during at a workplace or at an office or in a factory? What kind of measures that we should take to ensure the safety and well-being of the individual? These are the aspects of health and safety. So workplace safety is a very important for every employee and as well as for the industry, because loss of a skilled worker means loss of great business, and it is not easy to replace someone who has been highly skilled for years. So when one individual is lost, it means a lot of loss for the factory or for the company also. Replacing employers may not be, especially skilled employers may not be very easy. So that is the importance. And health and safety is a key factor for all the industries in order to promote both wellness of the employees as well as for the employer. So from the aspect of the employee means he or she is working for a family. When his life is in danger, that means that family will be affected, and when many such families are affected, society at large will be also affected. So it is important that every person in the society is leading a healthy and safe life. So it is the duty and moral responsibility of the company to look after the employees' protection. So nowadays, these kind of things are very important. Wearing helmet, wearing gloves, having safety gear are all very important in any type of work. So here we can find what are the important factors which we have to consider to ensure the safety of the person. So we will come to that later. So tomorrow your reward for working safely today. That is, only if you work safely you will have a tomorrow. If you die, that is only loss for the person, loss for the family, and loss for the children. Children may not be having very good education if if the earning member in the family has died. So all this, that is why for a better tomorrow, we have to ensure a safe workplace. So each and every person who leaves his home for his work in the morning should come back to his home in the evening in good health. So that is, so when some accident, any accident, whether road accident or other sort of accident, all these sort of accident can have a very lot of financial toll on the family, because when their health is affected, a lot of money has to be spent and a lot of time has to be spent for caring them. Sometimes there is a loss of life also. All this can affect the family. Have you ever imagined your loved ones will never be returning home? Such kind of situations are happening rarely in many families in Kerala and also in different parts of the world. So you get a call that she is in Dr. Some. So this kind of situations are very much disturbing for anyone. Like getting a call from a hospital that you are some close relative is in hospital and is in a very critical situation. So such kind of situations are very disturbing for most of the people. And this is the only reason why it is not important. It is important to create a safe working environment. So safe workplace is an important thing in that. That is what we are actually thinking in this health and safety at the work. The workplace safety is very important. And these days workplace health and safety procedures are important for the well-being of employees, because human loss is immeasurable and intolerable. These are two important things. The loss of one person cannot be replaced. When one person in your family is gone, that is gone, and the entire family will have to live for several years without that person. The same thing happens in a factory or in an office. sometimes a very highly, very person who is highly skilled in that particular field has died, and sometimes the company may not be able to get a replacement for that person very easily. So that is a problem. As such, loss or injuries can employ major loss to the families. All industry do have safety risk, but the management should devote the time to think and strategize what safety precautions are required in their company to make sure that workers are safe. Workers are safe enough for all the time. So this is an important thing. That is, it is a responsibility of all the management. So management has a moral responsibility here. So to ensure that, okay, their employees are always in a safe situation. They are doing everything to protect the life as well as safety of their employees. That's an important legal as well as moral responsibility of every management. The management should confirm with all the workers related to their daily work and comfort. So if too much stress for the employees, and they are not in a very healthy situation, that can affect their concentration, and that can endanger their life also. So that the management then takes some step according to the desired aspect of the worker. So this helps because if the workers are having too much time, lot of working time means a lot of stress, and lot of stress naturally reduce the concentration and patience of the worker, and that may lead to accidents sometimes. So this helps them in improving the productivity and quality of the product and lot more. These are the aspect. There are many employees who doesn't bother about their surrounding hazard. So there is another problem there. Some employees are very careless. They don't bother whether even if there is some danger, they will be taking that risk and moving around. So that creates problems sometimes. Only maybe 90% of the time they come out safely, but there can be 1 or 10% of time they may be getting involved in some kind of accident. So it is important to observe your employees working. So sometimes when we are working in a place, sometimes our colleagues or co-employees, they may be taking a lot of risk. So what they don't understand is that their loss is also a loss for the company, loss for their family. So it is important for everyone to make sure that nobody is taking unnecessary risk. So it is a collective responsibility. That aspect is what is mentioned here. Once you get to know about the particular hazard that occur at your workplace, then it will help you in reducing the risk and allow you to take precautions. So once we know what are the different type of risk or dangers that we are going to come across for example, you are working in a hospital, you are in a what we call X-ray room, you are an X-ray technician. There are a lot of things because if you don't take care of those machines, what happen? Every time when one person is taking an X-ray, your body is getting some mild dose of X-ray radiation, and that can accumulate over several years, and that can lead to cancer. So if the person who is supposed to take this X-ray, they have to wear certain protective dress, and they have to stand behind certain equipment. If they are not ensuring, what happened? Only that person is affected, and it is a responsibility of the colleagues also to properly advise them. Otherwise, they may get into some kind of cancer or other kind of dangerous disease. So these are important aspects in any workplace. Now, what we can do to improve the workplace safety? One thing is reduce the stress in a workplace. Most of the employees are not fit and healthy because of their busy schedule, and which include long working hours. Normally, 7 hours or 8 hours of work is there in most of the company. But if you are working more than that time, more than 8 hours, that leads to stress, as work pressure and conflict with the co-workers or with the boss of the organization. All this can create unnecessary stress for the person. So it is important that every management, every office should ensure that there is a very smooth relationship between the colleagues, between the management and the workers. So otherwise what happens is that everybody is affected. All this can lead to some illness or depression to the employee. Sometimes too much work pressure, too much conflict in the office or in a workplace can lead to a lot of tension, sometimes depression for the employee. Also, this not only affects their professional life, but also creates a lot of nuisance in their pets. Maybe at office you have a lot of tension, and most people will be ventilating that tension at home with their wife or with their children. Then there and that side also problems start developing. So instead of writing to get unfit, it is better that you start take care of hair. And by taking regular breaks, sit in an appropriate posture and appropriate diet. So it is the responsibility of every person to take care of their physical health as well as their mental health and as well as their social health. These are the different aspects of health. Nobody is going to take care of your physical health, your mental health, or your social health. It is your responsibility. It is not the responsibility of someone. So some people always think that God will protect you. God is not going to protect you, because God has given you eyes, ear, and brain, etc., to think and take the appropriate measures. And thinking that God will always protect. This is one of the beliefs of many people who take unnecessary risks, that God will protect me all the time. God is not going to protect you, because God has given you the common sense, God has given you the sense and brain. Then it is your responsibility to take appropriate decision to protect your life. That is what I told you, that it is the responsibility of each individual to take care of their physical health. When you have some kind of symptom, go to the hospital and take care of that. When you have some kind of stress in your family, it is important that you try to settle down that conflict. When there is some problem with friends and neighbors, it is your responsibility to settle it, at least exist in a peaceful relationship with your friends and neighbors. So this is the responsibility of the person, and that responsibility everybody should fulfill. So it is better for you to schedule your work accordingly and manage things to reduce your workplace stress. So these are some of the important aspects that you can do. Then see here, you can see every person will be bothered by a lot of different type of stress. Sometimes too much work and too much busy schedule, then you have too little time. Even if you get a lot of work, your time is always 24 hours. There is, and in a 24 hours you are only working 7 or 8 hours in the hospital, in the office. Then another is using the right equipment or right tools. So here you can see that. So this is a while painting. You can go for this kind of mechanism. You can see that many times people our workers and laborers are using this lower type of system. They will put some, and they will put a wooden plank there and stand on them. But this is the right way, because it is more safe. But if you go for less safer thing, it may be less expensive, but it is more risky. So using the right type of equipment and tools is a very important thing. Taking appropriate precautions while using the machinery or any other tool instead of taking any shortcuts. So don't go for shortcuts like this. Taking shortcut is one of the biggest reason for workplace death or workplace loss. It is the biggest safety risk to use scaffolding as a ladder. Here you can see these kind of things are known as scaffolding, or one tool instead of another for a particular job. So it is always recommended to use the correct tools and reduce the opportunity for workplace injury. So using the right equipment is an important part of ensuring proper safety in any workplace. Then keep crisis exit, which are easily accessible. Nowadays, if you want to build a more than three-story building or a four-story building, you can see that there is an emergency ladder at one side or behind the building, other than the main ladder. Why they are putting that? If there is a fire or something, there should be some exit route. That is the reason why emergency exit or emergency ladders are kept. Otherwise, if all the people are trying to move through one small ladder or staircase, there will be a lot of stampede and other thing, and people can die. In case of an emergency, you will need quick access to exit. It is always advised to keep clear usage of equipment shut off, which might stop you from performing at an emergency. So what sometimes during what happens is that power usually goes, and if it is a night time, unless there is some emergency lights are there, the problem is that people will be running and they will be colliding with one another, and there will be a lot of congestion, and that also leads to several injury and sometimes death. Then update your supervisor about the unsafe condition. It is important that you keep updating your supervisor about the hazards or risks occur at workplace, and they should be legally obligated to ensure that employees are working a safe environment, working in a safe environment or not. And in case if employees are not working in a safe condition, it is the responsibility of the supervisor to listen and understand their condition and create safe working environment. Now, it is a responsibility employee to discuss with the supervisor about the lack of safety in any workplace. But now, most of the time, what happens is that in most of the offices and other places, if the relationship between supervisor and the employee are not very smooth or not very comfortable, employees are not going to report this. And what happens, only when some accidents do occur, then they will get aware of that. Then what happens, everybody will be penalized. Just because the government will take a strict action against the management and also against supervisor for lapses in safety. So it is very important that whether you are an employee or you are a supervisor, you are in a supervisory position, ensuring smooth working relationship, comfortable relationship with your employee is an important thing. Otherwise, they will not tell you about many things. So this kind of situation happens in several offices. See here also you can see that this is an unsafe situation and walking below it. Now, most of the time you may be escaping. 90% of the time you may be escaping. But sometimes it can happen. Sometimes it can happen. Sometimes it may be a near miss. Sometimes you may luckily escape, and sometimes you may be a victim of that. So this is how the situation, unsafe environment can lead to loss of life. And using mechanical assistance. So here also you can see that, so this is a very convenient way the person can carry a weight. But on the other hand, instead of using that kind of small devices, if he is manually lifting with the hand, what happen over a period of several years, he will be having severe back pain, because our body is not created to lift heavy weight. So we can take a little bit of weight, but our body is not designed for such a heavy lifting. So if you are lifting too much weight, what happens is that after several years your back will be affected and you will be having severe back pain. So whenever you want to carry or lift some heavy equipment, use a conveyor belt or crank, or this is known as a forklift. So this kind of devices will help you to reduce the weight. There are a lot of risk involved if you try to lift something which is heavier, and it can affect your weighing capability and lead to some muscle displacement. Sometimes disc may be displaced, then it will lead to a lot of back pain. So make sure that using appropriate tools for not harming yourself. Then stay alert. Never stay alert near moving equipment, because sometimes you can see that while driving, I have noticed that this container lorries. This container. Have you ever checked how a container is placed on a lorry? Next time you see a container lorry, just see how they are placing it. If this is the lorry, this is the container, they just keep it like this. No fixing. It is just because of the weight of the container is staying on top of the lorry. So when the lorry is climbing a bridge and you are just behind in a car or a scooter, there is always a probability of this container falling down. So that is how, this is an important thing you should always remember. Never be too close behind a container lorry, because they just kept it without any kind of mechanical fixing. So this is the problem. Hazards come from any direction. There are many employees who usually compromise or ignore the alerts of advance warning, and due to this a number of workplace injuries. Most of the time 90% of the accident can be prevented. They happen because of the negligence of the people involved. And some people will ignore the safety requirement, and that leads to the accident. Reduce workplace environment stress. Stress to any employee or to any co-worker can lead to depression for example, one person in your office has died because of some problem. That can affect the morale as well as lead to depression among other employees also, because human beings are that kind of group. And main reason include extended working hour, too much working, and excess of work, and insecurity of the job, and that all leads to conflict with co-workers as well as professionals. So instead of taking stress on your shoulder, you should discuss with your supervisor and ask him or to look after your problems which you are facing in the organization. So this is where proper relationship in the office is important, and wear the right safety equipment. See here you can see what are the equipment you have. For example, you are working in a factory, you are working in a building environment or a building site, where you have to wear many equipment, because anytime a stone or other heavy stuff can fall from top. It is essential that you wear the right protection equipment tools during your work. And equipment can be in any form, like earplug, like you are working in a place with too much noise. Sometimes in a building site, so much noise will be there, and you are continuously hearing that noise. It can lead to the concentration problem and make you very angry also. So you have to use some kind of ear plug. This kind of lowered, these are known as ear plug, and ear muff or hard hat. This is the hard hat. Gloves are there, full face masks are there, safety gloves. So all these will be protecting you from unnecessary risk. These tools will prevent the workers from incidents that occur at the workplace. And sit in a proper posture. That is also another aspect. If you have a sitting job, that is you are working in an IT job, it is essential that you keep essential that keeping your posture correct while working on a desk. You need to keep your shoulder in line and straight back to avoid unnecessary. For example, if you are using a laptop, because what happens with the laptop is that we have to look a little in this direction. But instead of a laptop screen, see what we are doing is that we connect a laptop with a desktop monitor. so that the eyes and the screen level will be in the same level. So it will not create any stress on your neck, because we teachers used to spend a lot of hours before the computer. If you are continuously using laptop, we will have to look in this direction all the day. So always eye level and the screen level should be in this direction, straight level, in a horizontal level. There should not be any tilting of your head in the downward direction that will lead to neck pain over a period of several years. So try to ignore stooping and twisting regularly if possible, and try to use comfort. John Steiner will come. Try to use comfort designed furniture and safety equipment, so that desired things will be in your for. So nowadays this is the normal type of mouse. There is a different type of mouse. I show you ergonomic mouse. See, this is another type of mouse, ergonomic. See, yes, so this kind of mouse is known as an ergonomic mouse. So people who are continuously using mouse, see this is the normal type of mouse. Now what happens is that if you are continuously using this type of mouse, your fingers may be having different types of problem. There is a kind of disease known as carpal tunnel syndrome. In case of carpal tunnel syndrome, this area is known as our carpus, and one nerve is coming, and that nerve will be stretched, and you will have a lot of numbness in your hand. That is a common situation for many people who are using this computer every day, and they can use this kind of ergonomic mouse, so that there will be less stress on your finger. So this kind of equipments are now available, and similarly there are a lot of devices, ergonomic chair. Ergonomic means comfortable. See, the chair is different. So these type of devices can be used to reduce your back pain and other kind of sitting discomfort. So this is what that is, sit in the proper posture. And another thing that you can do is that when you are sitting 1 hour, and then spend some time walking. So that means you can walk in the office, or we can walk outside the office building. 10 or 15 minutes you walk and come back to the seat, your chair again. So that kind of thing can reduce your physical stress, and also the proper possibility of back pain developing. Because one back pain that occurs, treating it is very difficult than preventing it. Then, so here you can see this is what I told you. This eye level and screen level, that should be the same level. If you are looking down, it is sure that after several years you will have neck pain. So upright back, and see, this is also an important. The back should the backrest of the chair supports the curve in your, because our back has a S-shaped curve, and the back should properly touch your S-shaped back. So that is an important thing. See, the top of the monitor at eye level, arms. This arms should be also arms relaxed at sides, with upper arm, lower arm forming a 90-degree angle. See, this is how 90-degree angle. If you are, instead of that, your arms are slightly above. Instead of this 90-degree, either arm is more than 90-degree or less than 90-degree. That means after some time there is stress on your arm. So this is a simple thing. So the height of the table, height of the chair, all should be in such a way that your hands are getting 90-degree angle. Then lower legs, see, at 90 to 110-degree angle. Simple thing, but of thighs with adjustable leg room above. See, this is also very important. See, this hand in 90-degree, leg and feet, the thighs and legs in 190 or 110-degree angle is an important thing for sitting properly. Feet flat on the ground. See here also you can see some simple thing that you have to do for ensuring correct sitting posture. So these are some of the important things which we can do to ensure that you are working in a proper workplace environment, and and also reducing the workplace stress and ensuring more safety in your workplace.